LeBron ahead of Golden State.
No, but the only reason that
LeBron is guys and teams who haven't proven.
But the only reason LeBron has been able to get there was he was playing in the Eastern Conference, where it wasn't automatic that he was going to the finals every year.
No, he got there. I mean,
this will be the first dogfight, real dogfight that LeBron's going to be in. And the team, the Lakers, the way that they're set up right now, Chris, they are not going to compete they're not going to be in the Western Conference Finals. They will not.
Look at their team. First of all, I disagree that this is the first dogfight because he had to get through
the big cakewalk the last 8 years.
Celtics. When he was in Miami, the big three Celtics were still there. And your Detroit Pistons.
Don't bring up my Detroit Pistons. What are you talking about?
He's a young whippersnapper, and he upsets your Pistons in 6 games.
They're not my Pistons. I'm a reporter. I'm not a fan.
But don't tell me he hasn't gotten over a hump or you know, he's had cakewalks every time he's gotten to the finals. That's not the case. And beyond that, as Kyle Kuzma said, they're more than one player. Kuzma is playing like a future all-star. I mean, he's averaging 25 points, not just since LeBron's been out, but he's had stages for 5-game stretches where he's averaged 25 points. He's been averaging about 20, 21 points.
Did you
for the
see that
last
team
month.
in Sacramento without LeBron at the end of that game?
Sacramento's a good team, but they just came back and beat Sacramento as well.
Well, but I'm just saying that team is not to be trusted. There's a lot of young guys on that team. And while I love Kuzma, and I think he's a really good player, good young player, I'm not buying that they're sealed, set, and delivered. You know, I know that if LeBron and Magic and them could go find some other player to add to this squad, they have to, because they know that they can't get over the hump.
Well, Golden State, that's the hump. Houston's not the hump.
Houston is the hump.
Houston's got one.
I'm taking Houston in the first round.
Is healthy.
If Houston's playing the Lakers in the first round, I would take Houston over that Laker team.
And you'll owe
now.
me some wings.
That's okay.
Right now, we betting wings on that.
Wings on.
All right, you will owe me. Like you owe me about six batches already. But look, it's Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram has played. He's okay. I mean, he may not be what people expect him to be.
If that's your selling point, Brandon Ingram.
He's not even the second guy. The second guy is Kuzma. You got Rondo, who's playoff Rondo. We know he plays best in the postseason. I mentioned Ingram. They got a 3-headed monster at center in Zubac, Tyson Chandler, and JaVale McGee. They can protect the rim. And defensively, they're light years ahead of the Rockets. Since November 1st, the Lakers are 4th in the NBA in defensive efficiency. Only Oklahoma City, Indiana, and one other team, Utah, have played better defense since November 1st. That's 2 full months.
Name those teams. None of those teams are going to be in the NBA Finals. So
there's only one that we know is going to be in the NBA Finals, and that's Golden State.
No, but those teams you're telling me, that doesn't show me anything.
Oklahoma City's the top team.
Oklahoma's the only one. But
Indiana's the 3rd seed in the East.
Are they going to be in the
They got a shot.
Are they going to be in the Finals?
Utah is a tough team. Even though they're struggling record-wise, you can't overlook them. I mean, defense is key, and Houston they've gotten better during
Out of those teams, which one will be in the NBA Finals, the ones that you just named with that defensive efficiency?
That doesn't shoot down.
Tell me, Chris.
So that means defense isn't important.
Is that
what that means?
In this man's NBA,
in the West?
In this man's NBA, you're going to tell me that any of those teams are making it to the NBA Finals?
Well, first of all, Utah and Oklahoma City are out because it's Golden State.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought it was about defense.
In the East, Toronto.
Why is it out?
Toronto, great defense. Boston, great defense.
No, but they're not in the top 4, what you just told me the Lakers are.
They might be in the top 6. I mean, they're good defensive teams. You gonna sit here and tell me defense isn't important?
Not in this man's NBA.
Stop it.
Because last year,
you're thinking like a Houston Rocket now. They don't play defense.
I know they don't, but last year they got to the conference finals. They won the most games out west. All I'm telling they got to
another injury to Chris Paul and another failure for James Harden.
But all I'm saying is right now, Harden's playing as well as you can play, and I'm telling you, it's going to put them in a position where they're going to be one of the top 4 seeds, and they will be able to move on past the Lakers.
Look, they're tough. I mean, I think Houston, OKC, and the Lakers, all 3 of those teams will battle for that position opposite Golden State in the conference finals. Obviously, to your point, you don't want to meet them in the second round. But if those 3 teams, if I have to bet on Russell Westbrook or Paul George, or James Harden or Chris Paul, or LeBron James, I'm betting on LeBron James. That's all I'm saying.
You just named one guy. You didn't name a second guy. Did you notice that, Alex?
Kuzma's giving me 20-something, so I'll take him.
So that's the guy?
And then I mentioned a plethora of veterans. They got guys that have, Tyson Chandler has a championship. Rajon Rondo has a championship. Lance Stevenson is playoff tested. I mean, they got some chops. You can't say that about Houston as much.
All I'm saying is Houston, look at where they are, and they don't even have a complete team. Chris Paul will come back and will be a contributor.
Will he stay healthy?
Okay, I get that, but if he comes back and can finally stay healthy, throughout the playoffs, they're going to make more noise than the Lakers. I think everyone automatically, because LeBron James came out west, were like, oh yeah, they're going to the Western Conference Finals. It's Kool-Aid. It's not real. I will believe that when they make it there, but I'm not sold on it because I don't believe that they're even sold on their team that they currently have. And they're right around what I would call LeBron 500. What are they like?
What is that?
That means when you have LeBron on your team, they're like 20 and 15. That's really 500 for everybody else. It ain't a real.
Explain what? What?
Because LeBron, you should automatically.
Making up words?
Oh, LeBron
definitions.
LeBron should automatically be considered like he should be better than that. He came to a team that won 35 games. They're not on no great pace
They're on pace close to 50.
They're not going to win 50 games. I don't see them at 50.
A couple weeks ago, they were on a 50-win pace.
And then what happened?
Close to 50 wins.
And now you got LeBron dealing with that groin injury. And as you get older, we finally see LeBron like, okay, he's not superhuman. He's like everybody. Father Time always catches up with everybody. Now, how does he come back off of this injury? Does he re-injure it later on? Does he compensate and do something to try to make sure that groin problem doesn't come up again and injure something else? These are all real questions. And if LeBron isn't 100% or isn't the guy injury-free, that team has really no chance, and that's where it is right now.
Well, of course, if he's out.
I'm not saying totally out, but not LeBron James. Yeah, we don't know yet.
If he's not that, of course. But assuming from his track record and the way he's played this season so far, and look, don't rush this back, and they won't rush this back, because I actually think him being out a little time is good for this team because it gives these younger players time to develop their confidence. You watch them, they're playing like a different team without LeBron. I mean, strategically. There's more ball movement. There's more player movement. It's not one guy dominating the ball. I think Brandon Ingram against Sacramento played great all game long, but especially in the fourth quarter. This is giving them a time to kind of feel their own selves and get better and get confidence that they can do it without LeBron. And I also think him sitting there watching them can give him confidence in his teammates for when he does return, trusting them more. They're shooting the three much better than anybody expected. But same percentage as the Rockets.
But the only problem here is because it's the Western Conference, this stretch here, depending on how many games he misses and how many games they lose during this stretch, could play into where they're going to be long term. And I'm talking about the seedings in the West. And to me,
but the same goes for the Rockets. You think they're going to play on this pace the rest of the way?
No, I'm not saying that.
Everybody's fluctuating in the West.
But they're doing well with a player missing. The Lakers are just floundering. They're about 500 without LeBron. And I'm just talking about from the idea that people who thought they'd be in the top 4 seeds, now if they're in the bottom 4, it could change everything, Chris. And you know these games are important.
On who you meet.
And you can't make these games up. I don't care who they meet.
If you're in the bottom 4.
Yes.
To your point, there's one team in the West that is head and shoulders above everybody else, Golden State. Everybody else, I don't care if you meet them in the first. If you meet OKC or Denver's supposed to scare you in the first round? When you got LeBron James?
Yes, if you have Denver in the home court. If you're going up against LeBron, my thing is I'm gonna make the home court. I'm gonna make those other guys have to beat me. Those young guys that you're talking about, and those are the guys that all you got to do is make sure LeBron doesn't go crazy. You can beat the Lakers.
They've been saying that for 16 years.
No.
You don't think any of the Eastern Conference coaches said, let's keep LeBron from going crazy?
No, but they had Kyrie Irving and they had Kevin Love.
Not last last year.
I'm just talking about that. Those are the other guys that they've had. They've had guys who have won championships. I'm not buying this young roster.
Who did it in the East? LeBron had a young roster last year in the East. And I know it's the East, but the major difference is Golden State.
No, but the Eastern Conference.
Take Golden State out of the West, and the East and the West are the same.
You're talking about Toronto that won all those games, had the best record, and got swept. They wilted just in the sight of LeBron. They didn't put up a fight. LeBron wasn't tested. He hasn't been tested the last few years. They've been giving him straight A's.
Boston tested him.
No, they didn't.
They went
with
7.
those young guys. Come on, no Kyrie, no Hayward. He hasn't been tested.
Is he still not the best player in the world?
No, he's not the best player in the world.
Who is?
James Harden right now is the best player in the NBA.
Are you being a prisoner of the moment?
No, I'm not being a prisoner.
So the last, 10 games?
I'm talking about right now.
I never heard James Harden is the best player in the world come out of your mouth.
I'm talking about
You've been talking about Kevin Durant.
No, who's the best player in the NBA right now? Is that what you're asking?
What does that mean? This month?
Yeah, right now.
Does that mean this week? What does that mean?
All I'm saying is
he's the best. He's better than Kevin Durant. He's better than LeBron James.
He doesn't even have a number 2 guy, and look what they're doing.
5 games without his number 2.
And they're 10-1 in their last 11.
Well, Paul played 6 of those games.
Okay, but I'm talking about look at what he's been able to do without the help, without that second guy. And all I'm saying is James Harden is doing stuff that, you said it earlier, only Kobe and Jordan have scored a total of 400 or more points in a 10-game span in 30 years. Nobody's done it. Kevin Durant hasn't done it. LeBron hasn't done it. You got to give.
LeBron's not as much of a scorer. I mean, Harden, look, I don't want to take anything from Harden.
Yes, you are taking it away.
Well, he's not the best player in the world. Kevin Durant's still second best.
It's not a lifetime achievement award when you talk about LeBron. LeBron is not the best player. LeBron can't even make a clutch free throw, Chris. He's shooting 68% from the free throw line.
Which is second.
So how can he be the greatest player on the planet?
Well, James Harden isn't good at defense.
Neither LeBron hasn't been the greatest.
LeBron is ranked 59th in defense for real plus minus. You gonna stand up and applaud when you
like that, Paul?
You want to clap for that? I'm just saying, like, Harden is great, but let's also take into consideration that Mike D'Antoni's offensive system is like PEDs for certain types of players. You put downhill players who can see the whole floor, handle the ball well, and shoot in his system, whether it was Steve Nash, Chris Duhon, Jeremy Lin, Ray Felton, they all had career performances under D'Antoni, including Harden. Now, he's great in his own right, don't get me wrong. Hall of Famer without question in his own right. But playing in D'Antoni's system, controlling the ball as much as he does, having all those ISOs and everything, that can help boost the numbers, and it does. Mic drop? No, give me a mic.
There's no mic.
Give me a mic.
I just find it so hard when LeBron's healthy to ever bet against LeBron right now.
Well, but everybody keeps saying that, but he's failed more than he's won and been successful.
The greatest ones do.
Well, not Michael Jordan when you talk about the greatest. So all I'm saying is, while everybody always says that, I'm not betting against LeBron, why not? The Warriors own him. Kevin Durant owns him. So all of a sudden, he's supposed to come to the Western Conference, and they're supposed that LeBron's going to beat him now. He can't beat him in the finals when he has a cakewalk leading up to it.
That's not the discussion. If we were sitting here saying, are the Lakers better than the Warriors? I'd be on your side, no. But we're talking about the Houston Rockets, who have 3 leaders, including the coach, that haven't gotten it done in the critical stretches in playoff time. Against a guy that he hasn't won as many as you said, of course, but he has gotten it done and been played well in those toughest
There's
moments.
no super teams this time around, so LeBron is not going to be a winner.
I don't know. I think LeBron's a winner. But we'll continue this conversation a little later in the show. We're moving on to the